Where's that from? I never. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reject. Welcome back. The third episode. We're still going strong, after 2 episodes, which were exhausting. We're back here with another episode. Special guest, my lovely wife, Melissa.
Hi.
Holla at them. Holla at the followers.
Holla.
Yeah, that's what she does. She ain't no holla back girl, though.
Nope.
She no. Married to, what's this dude's name? Blake Griffin? Oh, wait, no. That's a basketball player. I believe I meant to say Blake Shelton.
She's not married to him.
No.
She's dating him.
Well, she's like 50. She should probably stop dating and settle down.
She was married. She got divorced. She has 2 boys with her previous husband.
Wow, what a whore.
Shut up.
Anyway, so we had we didn't just have dinner because we're not animals that eat at, was it 10 o'clock in the morning right now?
Night.
10 o'clock at night. I'm a vampire. I don't know my times of day. We went to Chico's Tacos, which is a El Paso institution. If you guys have never heard of Chico's Tacos, then you're probably not from El Paso. And if you are from El Paso and haven't heard of Chico's Tacos, then you must be a child. Or deaf. Like, literally have never heard of Chico's Tacos.
But then they would have seen it.
They would have seen, you definitely would have passed by it with so many convenient locations. We actually know somebody that works there.
Yeah.
We work.
Somebody who went to high school with us.
We went to high school with an employee, Chico's Tacos. But we were there. If you guys don't know, I'm gonna talk about Chico's Tacos as if you've never been there before, listeners. So there were some rumors regarding the sauce. So if you've never been to Chico's Tacos, it's famous for its taquitos, or flautas as we call them in this side of the town.
But they're still called taquitos there.
Yeah, they're called taquitos. Basically, just really like tight tacos, like with fried tortilla. So it's a nice hard tortilla. And traditionally, you eat it with, maybe a little bit of sour cream, some guacamole, and you let it soak a little bit. And the tortilla gets a little bit soggy, but not too much. So Chico's Tacos took that idea times 100, and they decided to place their taquitos in the soup of like a tomato soup with some cheese, and the soup is nice and hot, so then by the time you get your taquitos, they're nice and soggy and just juicy with this broth of cheese and tomato. Tomato broth. But there were rumors, and if you're squeamish, you might want to not hear this part, that the sauce main ingredient was less than fresh tomatoes. I guess there's a point where a tomato gets like to the point where it's almost rotten, and it's just like really, really sour and bitter. And so that's what they were doing. They were waiting for their tomatoes, or I'm pretty sure they were.
Well, that's what you heard.
That's what I heard. I heard that they were waiting till the tomatoes were almost rotten, and they were making the sauce or the juice with those tomatoes. And today, we actually got confirmation that might be based on a true story. It was one of those, like, I knew a guy that worked there. So it was like, we knew a guy, which was her stepdad, and he knew a guy that used to work there. So if we were ever tell a story, it's like, well, I knew this guy who knew another guy. So I don't know how legit this is. But
it could have been that one Chico's Tacos,
That is true. Or it could have been a disgruntled employee who started making those rumors.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, you got to ask yourself, if it were true, and if it was true, and if it was actively true right now, like if they were right now, they're out there getting their rotten tomatoes ready for some sauce. Would that deter you from eating at this wonderful establishment that's been around since like 1977? I'm just kidding. I don't know how long it's been around, but it's been around for a while. What do you think?
I technically been eating there since I was a kid, so if nothing's happened to me by eating those rotten tomatoes, then I'm all set. I'll still eat there.
You probably developed some sort of immunity to it now.
Yeah, I mean, that's
how we have such strong stomach lining, because we eat rotten tomatoes.
But it's not the same as it used to be back then. Just because they've changed the little things, I think, for it to be more cost effective. They changed the cheese and the bowls that I came into and stuff like that, which kind of stinks because, as you're always saying, if it ain't broke, don't change it. And they changed it. It's still good. It's not as good as it used to be. So, I mean, if they start using fresh tomatoes, maybe they should go back to using almost rotten tomatoes and go back to their cheese. And
that was the secret.
Yeah.
I heard something about the cheese, actually. You brought it up today. Because I was talking to somebody when I used to work at Salvation Army. The main dude told me something about the cheese, and it came from a specific... I don't know wherever you get cheese from, some sort of market. Some farmer, I don't know. But there was a bit of a clash or some sort of, disagreement or disbarment. I don't know if disbarment is the right word. But anyway, the owner of Chico's Tacos kind of, had a falling out with that particular provider of cheese, and that's why it's been different. So, I don't know.
I mean, if the owner of Chico's Tacos is listening, come on, it's in the past. Make up with that farmer and
with that
get
farmer.
That cheese
maybe
back.
It wasn't the farmer. Maybe it was the cow. Maybe he had a running with the cow. Maybe he ran over the cow that was making the milk that made that cheese.
I mean, I don't think it would taste different from a different cow.
You don't know. It could be a special cow.
Well, I mean,
what is that one octopus that have you ever heard of that one? It's like an octopus that he predicts every World Cup or something like that.
No.
You never heard of that one?
No.
That's one of those weird things, man. It's just like Groundhog Day.
Well, maybe they should find a way to resurrect that cow then.
He died of mad cow disease. I'm just kidding. That was a weird thing. There's a lot of weird things growing up that I used to hear, but now that I'm older, it's like, what? Now we have Facebook, which is another thing that I was going to talk about. Now we have Facebook, too. I feel like most of the things that people talk about... And here's the thing. I don't have a problem with people getting their facts from Facebook. Sometimes. The thing is that I feel nowadays it's not so much about fact-checking. It's just about, running with it. If somebody sees something on Facebook about Trump, grabbing a girl's boob or something, they're going to run with it. Did you hear that Trump grabbed a lady's breast or whatever? And, later on, you find out, in an actual news source that the lady was falling off a rail and he just, tried to grab her or something. You know what I mean? This is not based on a true story.
Isn't that
I highly doubt that Donald Trump would actually stop a woman from falling. I'm pretty sure he'd push her down.
Isn't that an episode of Parks and Rec?
What do you mean?
Where somebody's falling and he, touches
Resident
boob.
Oh, snap. See? There you go. That's the proof right there that there's no such thing as original thought anymore. Because almost everything that you see online, I feel like... I mean, I can tell you from experience that most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth is something that I've heard, a comedian say, or... there used to be a show called Arthur back in PBS. You've seen Arthur. Arthur
yes.
from PBS Kids.
Arthur was awesome.
Arthur was awesome.
And it still is.
It is still awesome.
I don't know, if you guys used to watch it, you watch it now, it still holds up.
It's a great show. Well, not the new episodes because they have a new animation team, which is more flashy. So it's kind of I don't know. It's just a weirder animation. It's more it's kind of stiffer, if that makes any sense. Stiffer. It's a stiffer animation. No, but seriously, most of the stuff that I used to quote this one thing. We live in the desert, and as we all know, there's a lot of when it rains, there's a lot of puddles because the bottom of the the layer of dirt is mostly clay, so it doesn't let the water seep in. And so I used to always say, it's full of Jesus. There's this thing that the brain used to say. He said it's a combination of igneous and metamorphic rock or something like that. But it was a super long explanation for clay, and I would always say it to anyone who could hear me, and I would always say it. And, like, I felt like I was so smart. But I'm like, that's not even mine. I heard, like, a tonking, whatever. I don't forget what he was. I think it was, like, a bear or something. Not Arthur. I know Brain was
Brain, I don't know.
I think he was, like, a bear or something. I don't remember.
A bear? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Somebody look up what Brain was. I think his name was Alan. Yeah. His name was not they call him the Brain. But yeah. What do you think? Do you think there's like an issue, or do you have an issue, or like do you think it's a little detrimental to your health and your kids' safety to get all your facts from Facebook? I mean, I don't think anyone actually thinks that that's a reliable source of news. Or do you think so? I don't know. Jeez.
I don't know.
That's a lot of questions at once.
A lot of new kids, like, I shouldn't say new kids, because, like, we also don't watch the news. I only watch the news when I'm at my mom's house and they're watching it, you know.
Local news, yeah.
Local news. Well, no, they also watch world news.
Sometimes, yeah. That weird dude with the hair.
Yeah. And, you know, but I don't watch the news. Like, if I'm home, I'm not watching the news. And I feel like a lot of younger people aren't watching news either. They go on Facebook, or they get, like, the news app to get, like,
just updates
really
and stuff.
Quick updates.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I guess that's true. I mean, I'll tell you, I don't like to watch the news, and I don't like to watch a lot of Facebook videos, because it's like a downer most of the time. Like, I definitely understand that being informed is, like, a very important thing. Like, you know, if you don't know what's going on, current events and stuff, ignorance is bliss, and I'm a big believer in that. Like, if the less I know, the better, because, I don't know, man, I just start getting paranoid, you know, I start hearing about, like, conflicts in, like, other countries, and, like, people getting shot, like, every other day, and it's like, you know, you try to look at the bright side, because there's a lot of good things that happen in the world, obviously, but that doesn't make good news. And I guess that's one thing that Facebook does do most of the time, is, like, there's a lot of, like, good stories too, you know. It's like somebody always finds, like, some dog in the street and, like, heals it, and like, you know what I mean? So it's like a small victory, but at the same time, you hear about, like, so much crap, like, people in the street, like, dying from, like, being too cold, or, like, starving to death, or, like, there's always, like, somebody committing suicide or getting bullied, and it's like, geez,
kids getting taken.
Kids getting, yeah, or, like, you always see, like, like that one with the 2-year-old. Remember that one?
Milwaukee.
It was like people in Milwaukee disgust me. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, there's just, like, some 2-year-old running around in, like, freezing temperature with, like, no shoes and, like, a onesie, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? And there was
a bus driver saw the kid and stopped and grabbed the kid.
But what bothered me is that there was a few camera angles, so I don't know if there were security cameras or something, but, like, those are the things that's where I get a little pissed off, is when you ever see these, like, this woman was getting attacked, and it's like, but the person the person is still recording.
Oh yeah, it's so mad.
Yeah, the person is still recording, and it's like a perfect angle, like close enough to see the action, and the person is not, like, moving their hand. It's, like, super steady. All of a sudden, these people are, like, they just got a tripod out of their pocket, and it's like, here, I'm just going to sit the camera right here, get in the right angle, and it's like, aren't you going to sit there and help? You know what I mean? Like, I would rather say, like, hey, let's check out, imagine you went to, like, one of your friends was like, hey, check out this video. I saw this video of this girl getting her ass kicked by a dude, and it's like, no, I'd rather say, hey, this guy was kicking this girl's ass, and I stepped in and helped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a better story.
It's like, all about taking video and vlogging and, you know, making sure people are trying to get the whole story through, because everyone now is a reporter and trying to get the whole story on their phone instead of actually stepping in and doing something now.
Why would you want to be a reporter? That's, like, a terrible profession. Haven't you ever... Wasn't Clark Kent a reporter? And look what he did. He stopped time. Or he reversed time to save Lois Lane. So, think about that. Build a wall. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, it's kind of messed up. It's just, I don't know where this mentality came from. Like, we have to, that's why I don't like to post, like, stuff about me, like, too much on the internet. Well, I'm lazy also, but, like, I don't understand what this need is to, like, okay, like, I'm going to post every meal. I'm going to post every time I go out of the house. I'm going to post every time that I have a beer. Okay, you guys know who you are. Every time you have a drink, really, you have to post every time you have a drink. Like, seriously. Like, okay, we get it. You're getting some drinks. Good for you, I guess, right? Like, that's cool. That's your life, and that's pure prerogative. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like there's some things that I want to keep for me. You know, I take pictures of my kid all the time, or of my dogs, or of my wife and I. But I keep them to myself because it's like, it's for me. It's for us, you know? Now, if there's something that happened and there's a lot of people and it's like, that was kind of cool. I'll take a picture and I'll tag some people. Say, hey, we were there. But it's like, I don't know. I don't see the need to, like, what is it called? What is that word? Catalog? No. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the reason to, like, yeah, just every single time. Does everybody need to know when I'm going to go to the gym or work out every single time? Like, come on. I don't know. One of my cousins is really bad at that, and I'll call her. I'll name drop her right now. No, I'm just kidding. She knows what she is. She used to do these Snapchats, which she would like. She would
leaving the house.
Yeah, she would like Snapchat herself like walking out of the house into her car, and then she would Snapchat. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but I feel like it was like she was like, okay, now I'm turning on the car. Now I'm driving out. Now I'm turning on the radio. Now I'm stuck in traffic. Now I'm stuck in traffic. Now I'm going on my way to work. Still on my way to work. Almost at work. About to get to work. I'm at work. Walking to the door to my work. I'm at work. Lunch break. Man, I hate being at work. All right, I'm out of work. I'm going to my car. It was literally just like that. Oh my goodness, you know. And I was just, you know, I get to that point where I don't even care about what she's snapping. So I'm just like, I'm just literally just, I'm going through it just to see. I'm like, Jesus, like she did her whole day. She snapped her whole day. And I'm just like, I mean, if you don't realize that your life is not as entertaining as you think it is by doing that, by just cataloging every single second of your entire day, then I don't know. I can't help you. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I'm doing this podcast because I like to talk and I just can't talk. And my wife hates me because I just don't shut up. So I talked to you guys that maybe be listening, right? And then now I get my fix. But at the same time, if what I'm saying is not interesting, there's nothing that I can say that, you know, I can't make going to Chico's Tacos exciting.
I mean, at least you guys can, like, skip ahead to see maybe if he gets more interesting.
It doesn't.
I'm unfortunately stuck listening to him.
Right, so feel comforted that you're not here. No, actually, we're talking about, I was just saying that you can't make going to Chico's Tacos exciting. There was that one time.
Oh, yeah.
That we went to Chico's Tacos. It was the one on, was it Mountwood? I think it was the one on Mountwood, right?
Yeah.
That's usually the one we go to.
Me and my sister.
Yeah, so we went and it was pretty late. Well, it wasn't late, but it was night. It was an evening. And I don't think we had a kid back then yet. No, we hadn't had our daughter, so we were out pretty late.
We were visiting.
We were visiting. That's back when we used to live in Nebraska. So we were there, and then I was eating a hot dog or something. No, I was eating a burger.
No, hot dog.
Was it a hot dog? Yeah. So if you guys never eaten a hot dog at Chico's Tacos, they use like those little like the red weenies, which have like that little like weird paper you gotta like peel. But anyway, it was like one of those red weenies, and I was eating my weenie, and I was facing. we were in a booth, and I was like facing the back of the restaurant, so like my back was turned to the counter. That doesn't really matter, but the fact of the matter is that I was like facing the other booth in front of me, and there was a guy eating something. I forgot what he was eating, and he was kind of looking at me like the whole time I was eating, and I was having a conversation, and I'm like, why is this guy looking at me? But then, you know, when you know when somebody's staring at you, like somebody's just looking at you, and I just kept like kind of like checking with him. It's like, yeah, he's still looking at me. He's still looking at me. And then when he got up, he still looked at me, and I was like, oh, this dude's gonna come right over and talk to us. Like, I already know it. He's gonna come talk to us. And he opens his mouth. By the way, he had really nice eyes. Now that I remember,
I don't remember he had like really. I wasn't looking at his eyes.
He looked friendly enough, but he had like really nice eyes, and so. Yeah, anyway, I was mesmerized by his eyes. I was like, this guy looks kind of weird, but I just bumped the table. This guy looks kind of weird, but at the same time, kind of creepy.
He has pretty eyes.
He has pretty eyes, yeah. So he comes over, and he goes, He's like, hey, you know when they, what did he say? Oh, he says, you know when the hot dogs are red like that means that it's food coloring, right? And like he just said that, and I think my sister and my sister-in-law and my wife were talking, and they kind of like stopped, like, what? This guy's talking to us? And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, you know when they use it's red dye in there. And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, why are you talking to us? You don't have them in his head. Why are you talking to us? And he goes, and I'm thinking, like, this guy better have, like, a good explanation why he's talking to us. Like, maybe he knows us. And he just says, sorry, I just like watching people eat. And I'm thinking, that was not any better. Like, that was a terrible, like, strike two. It was a terrible introduction. I just like to watch people eat. And I was like, all right. Well, I don't know what you want me to say about that. And I forgot what he said. But basically, the whole gist of it was that he was running for mayor.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember what his name was.
I don't.
Because we weren't. We live here now and we don't deal in the local politics. We were here for the whole Beto O'Rourke and
Tom Cruise.
Tom
No,
Cruise.
not Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise
Ted
ran
Cruz.
for freaking mayor. If Tom Cruise was the mayor of El Paso, that would make headlines. Like, holy shit!
No,
Stop the presses.
No, it's Ted Cruz, right?
Ted Cruz.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't.
Something T Cruz.
Just so you guys know, Tom Cruise is not the mayor of El Paso. The rumors have been squashed here now, just like those rotten tomatoes at Chico's Tacos. No. But so, yeah, we were never like into local politics, so I never got his name, and I don't think it really mattered. But
we were just really freaked out. We're just like, okay.
Yeah, like how do you? That's not a good way to approach somebody, guys. Like if you're gonna, future mayors of El Paso, if you're gonna go and you're gonna try to look like a human being that eats at Chico's Tacos, because you live in El Paso, don't just stare at people eating. Like that's not cool. You wouldn't even do that if you were a regular person not running for mayor. So why would you think that's fine?
I mean, if you want to go up and talk to people, have a nice conversation,
shake hands,
and be like, oh, hey, I'm running for mayor. Enjoy your meal or something. Have little conversations. It's fine, but don't be like, I like to watch people eat.
I like to watch people eat.
Take another bite of your hot dog.
No. Take a big old red weenie. People are weird, man. People do stuff like that. And, I don't know. It's like some people just don't care. Remember that? I remember we were downtown in the Centro, and that's what we call downtown here in the Southwest. And this guy came up to us selling his CD or something. It was like a hip-hop CD or something. I don't know. It was like a local...
He was a rapper,
He was a rapper, yeah, trying to start... I don't even think we had the CD. I don't know where it is. Somewhere in the car. I don't know. It was okay. But anyway, he comes up to us and he's like, hey, man, like, I'm a local rapper and I need your help and you can buy my CD and support me or whatever. And I'm like, hey, you guys from around here? I think he thought... Like, here's the thing. I have to give it to this guy because he was very quick. Like, whatever I said to him, it did not discourage him. It did not, you couldn't, what's it called? What is that? You couldn't disarm him. Like, everything that I said, he had, like, a retort for it. So, he's like, are you from around here? I was like, yeah, but I moved away, 5 years ago. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, but you're a local guy, And then, but here's the biggest thing. And I knew he was bullshitting. So, if you guys don't know, one of my family members is, local legend, Mr. Crazy 915. That's a local celebrity, Mr. Crazy 915. Maybe you won't believe me. I don't know. Any El Pasoans out there might not believe me, but he's my cousin. And I told him, he asked me something like, do you know any like rappers or something like that? I was like, yeah, Mr. Crazy is actually my cousin. And he goes, oh, Crazy? Yeah, I know him, man. We used to hang out here on I don't even know what street he was talking about. And if you guys don't know already, by what my cousin raps about, he's from the Lower Valley. He talks about being from the Lower Valley all the time. So I don't know. It was just weird for him to say like, yeah, we used to stay at his house up here, like in the city or something like
apartment.
That. And I'm like, what? He never lived in the city, not that I know of. Because I used to go to his house. He used to live in Clint, or was it Sanelli? I don't know. But he definitely didn't live in an apartment like up in downtown. And he's like, yeah, I used to party with him and all this stuff. And I was like, and he's like, yeah, you remember he used to have this what did I say? He's like, yeah, he still has that car, right? And he was just making shit up. Like, this guy was committed to selling me that crappy CD, which I don't even know. I think I paid way too much for it. It was like $15 or something. But what's funny is that I didn't want to be mean. I wanted to, like, I don't know, give him the benefit of the doubt, and like, you know, this guy was definitely desperate. And like, I look over and I just see my mom, and she's literally just like waving him, just like telling this guy, like, just cut it off, just walk away, like, just get it up. And I'm just like, oh man, my mom's over there like losing her crap, telling us to get the hell away from this guy. And we ended up buying this CD, and yeah. So whoever you are, man, I listened to it. It was all right. I don't remember your name, but I don't think you know my cousin. I think he was full of crap. I don't think he actually knew who he was. No, definitely not. So yeah, there you go, guys. You don't have to be a nice guy. You don't have to be successful. You just have to be able to talk bullshit. Really, I mean,
he got judged by his CD, so
that is true.
He got what he needed.
He accomplished what he was going to do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very gullible. I wouldn't say gullible. It's just that I'm too nice, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. That's why things like this happen to me. That's not even the worst thing that happened to me. We were actually talking about this today. Back in 2014, 13? I got scammed on Craigslist. Like, it wasn't even like a
good one.
It wasn't even a good scam. It was like a really basic run of the mill scams that you're like, oh, like if you hear about it now, like if somebody told you what was going on, like you'd be like, oh yeah, like that's a scam. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Well, if you were to hear this story, you'd be like, why did you fall for it?
Yeah,
like,
no, it was really bad. Like,
really?
So what had happened was, I was selling a bow. I bought a bow, first of all. That was my first problem. I bought a bow and I used it for like maybe a couple of months.
No, you used it for a year.
I used it for a while. I used to like compete. Well, I competed only a couple times, but then the club got disbanded. But anyway, that's not important. So I needed to get rid of it because it was just sitting there taking up space, and I was like, well, maybe we give this somebody to actually who needs it. So I posted it up on Craigslist, and it was a PSE bow. I can't remember. I know the brand is PSE. So it was a PSE bow, and it had the case and everything. And so I posted it like PSE bow with case and fletching or something like that. I can't remember how I posted it, but as soon as I posted it, like maybe like 5-6 minutes later, I get a response, and it was a text, and it was literally somebody was like, I'm interested in your product, PSC bow with fletching. Like, it was literally the entire description down to like the amount, and it was like, please respond to private email or whatever. Please respond. Thank you. And I was like, I was all excited. I was like, oh man, we did it. We sold the bow. And so I was selling it for like $300. So the fact that he wanted to pay like full price for it, he was like, yeah, that's a good price. I'll pay for that. Like, I'll pay that price. I was excited. But then things started to get a little weird. And like I said, if I had just consulted with somebody, if I had just took it a chill pill, I probably would have realized that this was a complete scam. But I was so excited. I got roped in. So then so basically he says that he wanted the bow, but he was not going to be able to pick it up himself because he was moving. And he was going to have the movers pick up the bow. See, this sounds so stupid already. The movers are going to pick up the bow, but he wasn't going to be able to pay them because he wasn't going to be there. So he was going to give me like a check for like $22,000 or $2,200, sorry. So that would cover the cost of the bow, and then I could give the rest to the movers. So he sent me a check. He actually sent me a check for like $2,200. And I was like, oh, sweet. He actually sent it to me. So at this point, I'm thinking like, oh, this might be actually legit.
Yeah, he said like $1,500 goes to the
movers.
The movers, and then we could keep the rest.
Or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it sounded pretty legit. You know, he had me take the post down so nobody else can take his bow or whatever. So I'm thinking like, this dude's not going to send me a check, and he did. He sent me a check, and I was like, oh, sweet. And I really should have just waited, but I cashed it. I cashed the check like right away. I was like, sweet, like this. Look at all this money that's in my account. I was all excited, you know. And for some reason, I can't remember what the whole thing was. For some reason, I had to wire him like $1,300.
15.
Was it 15?
15.
Oh, I think the 15 was. I don't even remember.
You're wiring it to the moving company or something.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah. So again, why couldn't he do this all himself? Like that's literally the only question. If I had asked myself that question more than often, I probably would have just been like, "This is kind of sketchy." But I did.
Young and dumb.
Young, dumb, and broke, just like Khalid. Who's not from El Paso, by the way. He doesn't deserve the key to the city.
Shut up.
No, I'm just kidding. I always want to bring that up. No, but anyway, I'm sorry, Khalid. Don't hate me. I want to meet you because you're the only.
He loves this city.
He does. Who doesn't love El Paso? Let's take a moment of silence because El Paso's great.
Some people who probably won't
Except for
say
the bullets.
that, but with El Paso isn't for everybody, but we like it because it's home.
And people don't get scammed.
Okay,
probably.
that's not true.
No, just kidding. No, but anyway, back to the scam. So yeah, I was supposed to wire the moving company because he couldn't do it himself for some reason. The $1,500 from the check. So I wired it through Western Union. He told me to get him the confirmation and all this other stuff. Oh man, and yeah, sure enough, I started getting freaked out, man, because I was like, this is a lot of money, and I feel like I just did something really stupid. So, I checked with my bank, and I told them, like, hey, I cashed this check, but I'm not sure. It might bounce. How do I know if it's going to bounce? And the lady was like, well, we're not sure.
You have to wait 3 days.
You have to wait 3 days. After 3 days, if nothing happens, or something like that. It's just
3 to 5 days.
She's like, you won't know until it bounces, unfortunately. We can't do anything. You already cashed it. So I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, like please don't let it bounce. Please don't let it bounce. And so in the meantime, the guy was like setting up a meeting for the movers so they could find me. So I'm pretty sure that all he did was Google my location because we lived in Omaha at the time. Well, Bellevue, Nebraska. And I'm pretty sure he just Googled like places around me. And that what's funny is that the dude, when I told him I was in the military, because I thought like that maybe would scare him if he was a scammer, like I thought that would like deter him from scamming me. He was like, "Oh, thank you for your service," and I was like, "Crap," and I'm just like, "Oh man," he must have just been laughing his ass off the entire time. But anyway, so we met at a movie theater. I think I picked the location because I wanted to make sure there was like a lot of people around, just in case they were like trying to assault me or like kill me or something. Because I heard people like from New York get mugged from like Craigslist posts and stuff like that. So it was like in a big parking lot. I'm waiting for this moving truck. I'm assuming it's gonna be a big moving truck, and I'm waiting, and then finally the dude texts me back, and actually I think I texted him. I was like, "Hey, where are your guys at? They're late," and he was like, "Greg, I have unfortunate news. Like the moving people have been in a terrible car accident or something like that. Like I've lost all my possessions, but the movers are in critical condition, and you're the only person I trust in this point." And I was like, at this point in time, I had already had my suspicions that I got scammed. I was just like, this guy got away with my money. The check bounced, and I wired him a bunch of money directly, so he just took $1,300 from me, whether I like it or not. $1,500. So when he said, "Yeah, you need to help me pay for the medical costs and all this other stuff," I actually like texted him. I was like, "You know what? Like, you already took my money, dude. Like, why am I gonna give you more? Like, I already know you're messing with me. So, like, no, I'm not gonna help you." And he tried to convince me. He's like, "You're not gonna help. Like, they're in critical condition. Like, how can you do this?" Like, he tried to make me feel bad.
Well, no, he was gonna write you another check so you could send.
Yeah, it didn't even make it. It was just like, come on, man. Like, it's just I hated feeling that dumb because like I knew that the fact that he wanted to do it again, like it made me feel even worse because like it was like this dude, I got him so good the first time. Like he's so dumb. He cashed that check and then he wired me money, so I could definitely get him again. But no, I caught on, and I probably should have kept talking to him a little bit more because then maybe the cops would have been able to find him. Because once we went to the police, I had already stopped talking to him, and they were like, "There's nothing we could do." It's just like that's what they do. These people are like professionals. Probably some dude like in India or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but they couldn't even trace the call either way because they use the internet or something like that to get different phone numbers.
Oh yeah. They probably use like VPNs and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, man, you gotta be careful with that stuff. They always tell you like do it face to face. Don't do it.
And always cash.
Always cash.
No checks.
No checks. or money orders or anything like that. Well, maybe money order wouldn't be that bad.
Money order, yeah, you could do money order because that wouldn't bounce. Just always cash, never checks.
Oh man, my her stepdad actually was doing that today. He was trying to sell some car parts and got a similar email. It was like 3-4 items, and this lady messaged him back with like the same format. I was like, I'm interested in so and so and so at this moment. I'm also interested in this so and so and so at this moment. It's like, come on, man, like that's a scam. And like I really wanted her to reply. I think I replied like, hey, let's set up a meeting, and I really wanted her to reply so I can just like sit there and waste her time. Because I'm salty about that still. Like that was a $1,500 lesson. Like, that's not something I take lightly. So.
You're as salty as the ocean.
I am probably even saltier.
Saltier than the ocean.
Saltier than the rotten tomatoes that you was stuck. But yeah, be careful out there, guys and gals, or whatever you identify as.
Just be careful out there,
Just
people.
be careful, yeah. Just everybody be careful. Like, watch out for 2-year-olds running around with no shoes, and at least in El Paso, it wouldn't be that cold.
I mean, yeah, but the floor, it's really hot. The floor would be like scorching.
Not right now, would it?
Well, no, but like any other time, it's like the floor scorching.
Probably step on a torito.
Oh my
because
God,
what
those
toritos
are the worst.
Those little big old. I don't know if I've seen them in Nebraska, but they're yeah, but they're like the very.
Oh, those are the sticky ones.
Like those are really really sticky ones that stick to your pants and stuff. Yeah, but the ones we got here are like super like. Well, first of all, when they're green, they're really big, like huge. They look like little like BBs. No, even bigger than a BB, more like a marble. And they're just full of spikes, and they're nice and solid, but they're green and they're a little bit soft. They have a little bit of give. But then they dry out. Those sons of bitches dry out, and they turn into like these like wooden what are they called? Spikes. No, not spikes, but spurs. Like little like wooden spurs, like tiny little wooden spurs everywhere, and it's just like it's terrible, man. You step on one of those, like you're gonna want to just go back inside and start your whole day over because you don't want that. It's terrible.
I used to walk around barefooted all the time. But I knew where to avoid,
like the minefield.
But like sometimes if a ball got kicked over there, like one of us had to go.
Oh shoot!
And like you would have to literally, it was like literally a minefield where you're like tippy toeing and like trying to avoid.
Why not just put shoes on though?
Because then you have to go outside.
Why not just have them out there just in case?
Because it was a fun game. Okay, you had to try to avoid getting stuck.
So you made a game out of it. Nice. That's interesting.
But but then you lose your balance and then you either step on one or you fall down and your butt gets full of them and you're just in pain.
The worst is when you go like to a place. You go to like a place that's like heavily like full of stickers. It's just like a sticker palooza, and then you bring one of those sons of bitches home with you. Right, and you bring
a bunch of them home with you.
You bring a couple of them, and they get placed in a place they get put in a place or they get left behind in somewhere that you're just completely not expecting. You know, it's like the middle of the night. You go into the bathroom or something, and you just step on one of those motherfuckers, and you're just like, why, like why are you here? Like,
worse than stepping on a Lego.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'll step on a Lego all day. Like I never understood that. Is that like a white person thing? I'm not trying to be racist. That was never a thing for us. Like stepping on a Lego because we had legit threats. We had legit threats. Okay, we're not talking about a piece of plastic with little grooves on it. Okay, we're talking about like an actual spike. I've gotten those things have made me bleed.
Oh
before.
Yeah, definitely. Like the big ones, like really go in deep.
I stepped on it wasn't even it was my heel. Like my whole heel went into it,
and then like it's sore afterwards.
Yeah, dude, like I broke it. I broke the bottom of it, but like the top was like in my skin. I was just like, "Just kill me!" Like this is it. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in a world.
You're like I'm just stuck here. I'm laying down.
I don't want to live in a world where these things exist. Like honestly, it's like mosquitoes, you know. Like, and we live in a terrible spot for mosquitoes. In a terrible spot because we're staying in Tornillo right now. If you guys don't know where that is, it's like in the outskirts of El Paso. You know, you go to your cell phone reception is over, and then you drive about 30 minutes more, and then you'll find us somewhere.
It's not that far away.
No, but it's pretty out there. And that's where we're staying right now. But and luckily right now it's cold enough where the mosquitoes are dormant.
Or like
isn't that crazy to think that they're actually still there? They're out there still, but they're just like not doing anything.
Not as active.
Like, isn't that weird? Like, doesn't that kind of make you mad? Like you think that they... I always thought...
I hate mosquitoes.
When I was little, I always think, like, oh, they're, like, dead. Like, they all froze.
But they're not.
Ants and all that stuff, like cockroaches and stuff, like, they're still around. They're just, laying low. Isn't that weird?
I just want them all to die.
Okay, that's the God's creatures, okay? They have a purpose... Probably. Their
purpose is to die.
The purpose is to die?
Yes.
Yeah, it is true. Isn't that our purpose, though? Whoa, got a little existential there. No, but, and you know what I mean? Like, so we live right next to a field. So there's a big old canal that runs, like, pretty much, like, I don't know, the whole stretch of the entire street. And it's, like, super long. And it's pretty deep.
Far.
It's pretty deep when it's full. And so it's, like, just, like, a perfect place for mosquito breeding. It's, like, just a big old mosquito pool party. Ugh. And during summer, so yeah, we're not really looking forward to that. I'm not gonna lie, we're definitely gonna have to stock up on like some. I want to get one of those big bug zappers, like that just stay outside so you can hear them die.
What I want to do is get like potted plants and get lavender plants because I heard lavender keeps them away.
At what volume though? Like how many do you have to have?
I don't care. I will cover the whole house.
Cover the whole house
in lavender.
In lavender. You can't just like get a bunch of those like lavender scented like what's it called? The dryer sheets and just like put them all around.
I'm just gonna tape them all over my body.
Just to make a suit. This is my anti mosquito suit. And it's like, wouldn't it just be the same as wearing long sleeves? Like, no, the lavender repels them.
If I could, I would wear a mosquito net all day.
All the time?
Just all the time. I would not.
You could make one, right? You could just get like you can make a big old like one of those
like
hats.
a beehive suit, but put it like nothing but mosquito net.
Well, yeah, because all you have to do is get one of those like hats, like the ones with the man in the yellow hat, like from Curious George.
And what about the rest of my body?
And just like drape like a net over yourself, right?
Yeah, but then I'd have to make one for our kids.
For our kids? Oh. No, screw them. They don't even have any blood. They have like 3 ounces of blood.
This is why I want to move more
towards the city.
Towards the city where there's
not Montana.
Not as much
not Montana,
canal and
that's
farm life.
Her family lives in Montana and that street is so crowded, man. Like that is a terrible place to live. Like I mean, I'm not trying to talk smack about people, but I'm just saying, like, where some of the housing complexes are.
It's a nice place to live. It's just it's
on a main street, though.
It's overly trafficked.
It's overly trafficked. That's a nice word.
It gets full of traffic real quick.
No, yeah, definitely. Like we were staying there when I was commuting to school in the morning. It was just like completely just gridlocked. Like it was terrible. The thing is that it's on Montana's a main road. Like it's a very busy road, and some of where the housing complexes are in some places, the only street you could get into to go anywhere is Montana. So you could just imagine you have like 4 different directions, almost like 6 different directions, are people just trying to merge into this one single street. Like it's not even like a 4 lanes. It's 2 lanes. It's 2 lanes. Well, technically 4 lanes. 2 lanes going, 2 lanes coming back. But that's it.
It's 3 lanes.
Is it?
It's 3 lanes.
Oh, yeah, it is 3 lanes. Yeah, I guess because you gotta be able to turn out to Joe Battle. But still, it's just insane. I hate traffic. It's like one of my pet peeves.
I mean, like...
I think everybody's pet peeves.
Like, back then, like, there was, like, nothing there. And now it's just, you know, it's...
Yeah, it's growing.
It's growing a lot.
I think eventually it's going to get to the point where they're going to have to find another exit. I think
that's what the city is planning. I think they're planning on doing another street, but they're working on all the other streets that they're working on.
I'm just too busy trying to build that wall. Who do you think's building that wall? Where do you think it's coming from? Huh?
I mean...
Just kidding.
Lots of people need jobs, I guess.
Okay. There you go. You're right. See, here at the Read Your Bean podcast, we look at the bright side of things, guys. Who's going to build those jobs? I always had like this weird feeling. I always had like this idea. I'm pretty sure I stole it from somebody, but if they always said like, Trump was always like, we're going to make Mexico pay for it or whatever. And like, I was like always thinking like, who would want to do that job? Like for real. Like if it was a good paying job, it's going to take a while. I'm pretty sure a lot of Latino, Hispanic people would want that job, construction. I would do it. I mean, if I didn't have anything else to do, right?
I mean, whether or not if I believe in the war or not, which I'm not going to discuss, but if it's a job and I need to support my family, I'll do that job.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's probably a good gig, but I always thought it'd be funny. Like, well, it wouldn't be funny, but it's a funny thought to think that what if you had like all the illegal immigrants are like working on the wall, and like when it's like towards the end, they're like, okay, we're gonna put the door now, and it's like everybody has to like. I was just imagine like a bunch of immigrants like just like heaving this huge chunk of wall, like the last chunk, just like boom, and then they go and they send shit up, and then they're like, all right, thanks a lot, and then like they're on the other side of the wall. They're like, hey, wait a minute. Like I don't know, I just thought that'd be I don't know. That's like a good like cartoon. I think Bugs Bunny should get on that.
Okay.
Does Bugs Bunny still do things?
I don't think so.
They have a new show on Cartoon Network. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I haven't seen Looney Tunes in a while. This is back in the day. I used to watch like the Roadrunner and whatnot.
I used to watch that too.
A lot of good shows back then. That could be a whole different podcast.
But if you do see a lot of the shows like that we used to watch back then, they are really perverted. No, yeah, no. There's some adult content in there.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was like they were ahead of their time because like they weren't afraid. Like there's like weird shows like Ren and Stimpy or like Rocko's Modern Life and stuff like that. Cow and Chicken that were like just like
Angry Beavers,
pushing the boundary. I never saw Angry Beavers.
I saw Angry Beavers.
Was that? I thought that was more like Nickelodeon. Right? It was like Cat Dog kind of. It was like around the same.
I mean, but so was Roscoe's New Lives. Like that was Nickelodeon.
True. Well, even Rugrats and like Hey Arnold used to deal with like heavy topics like about like abortion and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if there's an abortion joke or abortion episode on Rugrats, but I mean maybe that's why Dale came out so messed up because dodging that coat hanger.
Shut up.
No,
but they were ahead of their time. I mean, if you look at it, Angelica's mom was the bread maker.
True. Progressive, yeah.
She was the one at work, and her husband, Drew, was the one staying at home. And then
true.
With Phil and Lil's parents, the mom was really butch.
True.
And
the dad was kind of meek and
yeah.
That's true. I always thought, I didn't even know that was, it took me a while to like realize that was their dad. I thought it was like their uncle or something. Because he was never like, I don't know. Well, they never like kissed or anything, so I didn't know.
I mean, neither did the rest of them.
I mean, what is Lily? Or no. What is Tommy's parents' name? It's Stu and Dee Dee. They were a little lovey-dovey from time to time.
I know, but they were the most,
I guess, like, traditional?
Yeah, I guess, like, traditional, but, like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
They were something. She was a ginger.
Like, they were mostly, like, on the same page about things. Like, the other ones were kind of a little
bit
off.
More conflict, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. It was a weird show, though. Oh, I missed that show.
It was a nice show. I mean, it's on Hulu.
Is it? We should go watch it right now. No,
as well as Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
And the boy genius. What's
Jimmy Neutron?
Jimmy Neutron.
I like the movie. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like it was because it was one of those shows that it was a show after the movie.
Yeah.
Which there's.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of it's almost sometimes it's backwards. Like I think we're used to it like being a show first and then a movie, but no, it was a show. It was a movie first, and then the show came out. Just like Emperor's New Groove. I don't know if you knew there was an Emperor's New Groove show, which was terrible. Oh. But yeah, It was Emperor's New Groove, and then I think they did like Kronk's New Groove, and then it was a show. So yeah, I watched the movie before I watched the show, and I gotta say that I don't know that the show was a little bit more or the movie was a little bit more entertaining.
And then they did the whole thing with Boss Baby too. Like there's a movie, and then they did a show.
Yeah, exactly.
After,
yep.
Which like doesn't make any
Kung
sense.
Fu Panda.
Because Boss Baby, he gave up being a boss baby to be down with the family, and then
but now he's just a boss baby again.
He's a boss baby again. He has a freaking bottle and pacifier. He works. Like I thought you gave that up.
Wouldn't it be funny if he said that there was an episode where he's like, "Hey, didn't you used to not be didn't you used to be a regular baby now?
Right?
Didn't
like,
you give that shit up? Unless, and here's the thing, here's the theory that probably nobody cares about. Unless the Boss Baby show is based on
like a prequel type thing.
No. Well, no. It's actually based on the time that he spent with him during the movie that we didn't. That we like it was outside of the actual like the main story.
I mean, he had one job only, and it was to figure out what the next big thing was.
Oh, was it?
Crazy.
Well, yeah. we don't actually know how much time.
I watched the movie because we have kids, so
I mean, how much time passed? We don't know between like when the movie started and then.
I don't know about that. Just,
you don't think so?
No.
You know, but you know what I mean, like that.
I mean, have you seen the show?
Yeah, you're right. I guess you're right because it does take there's quite a bit of episodes and a lot of like substance in all of them. So yeah, maybe that theory is kind of weak, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to make sense because it's a stupid cartoon. And DreamWorks made Shrek.
I always tell you that it's a cartoon. Like, stop trying to make sense of it.
It's so hard because like you say that to yourself, like it's a cartoon, but at the same time you're like, well, yeah, it's a cartoon, but goddamn it, can we get some continuity around here? Like, geez. We watch How I Met Your Mother all the time, and like every time we watch it, like we watch the entire thing. We can't if we're gonna start it, like we know we're gonna watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
But as soon as we start watching it,
except for like the last two.
Yeah, the last seasons are kind of lame. That's a whole nother podcast entirely. Talking about How I Met Your Mother's garbage last season. But every time we watch it, it's like we're sitting there calling it out like, hey, like that's wrong. Like, nope, you can't say that because of this. And then you get to that point, man. And you're like, Jesus.
Well, we're even watching the 70s show again, and it's just like, it's so much. Like, it's not,
yeah.
There's no continuity.
If you guys are a fan of that 70s show, I'm just going to ask you one question. And this is that one. We won't talk about that show anymore. But whatever happened to Donna's little sister? That's all you have to ask yourself. Like, whatever happened to her? Like, that's a very significant thing to just, like, forget. Because nobody talks about it. Nobody acknowledges it. Actually, no, I think they do acknowledge it in, like, a later episode. But that's it. Like, it was just kind of like a joke. And then, like, boom, they never talk about it.
So whatever happened to Donna's little sister?
And then, boom. And that's it. So, yeah, just think about that. All right. Well, snap. We've been talking for, like, 15 minutes. It's almost been an hour. It's probably one of the longer podcasts that we've done. So
that's because you can talk to me forever. That's why
I can talk to you forever. We can talk forever. So give a shout out to our friends at the Fire Lane podcast because they're the ones that gave us this idea to kind of team up. Wife and I talk about stuff. So yeah, thanks guys for giving us the idea, and we're gonna do it better. So suck it. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are cool. No, you guys are cool. There was a bit of a problem yesterday. I'm just going to finish up here. There was a bit of a problem yesterday. We were supposed to do a podcast with one of my good friends, longtime friend. He's actually family, literal family. And there was a problem with the recording, and so it's just us today. But I think actually this went well. This went well. I think we kept it good. The pace was good. I am working on trying to post this on a different. Not just YouTube. I'm actually trying to get it on a website called Podbean, which is like an app that you can get for free. So I will let you guys know probably on the next podcast, hopefully, once the episodes are up. But you can look up. My account is actually up right now. Just look up Reject Bean Podcast on Podbean, which you can download it on Google Play and iTunes or whatever. Where you damn Apple people, wherever the hell you Apple people get your apps from, the Apple headquarters,
Apple Store.
Yeah, the Apple Store. So look up. It's called Podbean. It's free. You can pay extra if you want premium, but I mean, all my episodes are going to be free because let's face it, you can't put a price on this type quality stuff. So we're gonna leave it here. Links in the description for all my social media. You guys can follow me at Reject Bean Soup. At my Instagram is Reject Bean Soup, and then my Snapchat is Panico Hispanico, but links in the description. We can't spell that. And it's actually on the screen right now. So if you want to follow me on those things, you can. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. What do you want to say, baby?
Bye. Enjoy your night or day or morning,
evening, fortnight. Oh wait, no, fortnight is something.
Enjoy.
Go get yourself some Chicos tacos, and
And if you're not from here,
too bad.
Eat yourself some flautas.
Get yourself some taquitos and drape them in some rotten juice from tomato juice. And, and what are you doing? Come to El Paso. Try some Chicos tacos and some Whataburger.
See the desert. Tumbleweeds.
And all the mosquitoes and walk around barefoot.
Definitely come during the winter where there's no mosquitoes.
Where all the mosquitoes are theoretically dead. But the Toritos, the stickers are out there and they'll get you.
They're here forever.
Make sure you wipe your feet.
And you're wearing shoes.
All right. So thank you so much for listening. Once again, you guys have a great day or night. You just said that. I'm going to stop talking now.
Bye.
See you guys next time.